What's up, Rockstars? I have a great video for you guys. I've done a lot of research. We got a ton of updates to go, both brand new announcements, ones that you will want to be a part of because they're million-dollar campaigns, a whole series of them, and the next big one's coming. Plus, updates on some other big-name games and some small ones too, some new add-ons, pledges, stuff like that. All that coming up right now. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members for helping support this channel. It's because of them I can make videos just like this. So if you appreciate this video, please give it a like, show the channel some love. Thank you so much. Alright, we got Dungeons & Lasers Caves. That was announced and that is going to be massive. Dungeons & Lasers has been huge, a little bit to my dismay because I really liked the Rampart stuff as a wargamer, but there's a lot of tabletop RPG people there and they use this all the time. It's one of the cheapest ways to pimp out your game table where you can actually just go through the dungeon, do all that kind of stuff, or even use it in board games too. I've seen it done. There's a very versatile stuff here. They're just fun to paint up, fun to build together. They're all really high quality hip stuff, just like the Rampart stuff. They're really, really good. This one here has curved walls is a big new one here. So you got the rocky cave theme. There's the back of it plus the front of it. So you get the little spine thing going on there and stuff like that, which is super cool. Belly the Beast theme, which is like Cthulhu sort of kind of stuff going on. That's a lot of fun. And demonic cave themes. Who doesn't love a demonic cave? I know I love them, that's for sure. They have the curved walls, they do have the corners, and even bridged hills. So that will be super cool to see what that looks like. They currently have a sign-up page. All of this is linked down below. So everything I'm covering in today's video, plus a ton of other links in that description below. Again, if you appreciate that, leave the video a like. Thank you so much. There's a ton here for you, but go ahead and click this. It'll take you to here. You can put in your email, your name, all that kind of stuff, and get signed up so that you're notified when this launches. It's guaranteed to be big. It'll be curious to see, because they haven't announced it yet, if this will be GameFound or Kickstarter. They used to do Kickstarter. Lately they've been doing GameFound, and they've had very good success there. I would assume GameFound, but who knows, because they're not stating it yet, so maybe they're keeping their options open. A real quick aside, but just so you know, there are a ton of games crowdfunded all the time. Ones I don't even cover. Ones most of the board game creators you follow actually don't cover. Stuff like this. I don't even know what this is. It's only available in Japan. I can't read it. I just wanted to show it off just to show that there is a huge swelling of just, there's a ton of people using all these crowdfunded platforms to fund their dreams. And I think that's super cool. It's just great to see success like this. And it actually looks like kind of a neat little game. I love the art style and all that kind of stuff, but I can't read it or play it. But anyway, stuff like that's there. I'll link to it just for fun, but you know, maybe you can get some use out of it. If you got use out of this link, let me know. Gloomhaven Grand Festival. This is just hitting their 48-hour mark at the time of recording. They made over 4 million so far, and that's bound to go up now that the 48 hours are here. I don't know if BackerKit does a 48-hour reminder email or what that looks like. So in a Kickstarter at least, and I believe GameFound copied this, where at the very end, normally I just back a game and I cover them all the time anyway, so I don't really pay much attention, but a lot of people will say, hey, remind me or whatever, all right, let's follow. But then what that does, I don't know. But either way, last 48 hours, typically there's a kind of a bigger surge as people come see what's here available now. And the big one here right up top is Button and Bugs. A lot of you guys have mentioned this, which is super cool. So that is this little adventure right here. It's a box about this big. You play it solo, about 20 minutes of scenario. There's over 20 or at least 20 different scenarios. They have a really cringe thing here you can look. It's kind of entertaining, I guess, in a you know, like a high school, you know, project you have to do to film yourself doing something or whatever, but it's fun. It's whatever, where they like shrink everything down to a small size, but you usually use these gems that you're fighting against, very kind of abstracted, but you still have the card gameplay that you're doing, and you can still experience Gloomhaven on the go. You can put that in a backpack, you can travel with it. I think that's pretty cool. It's $15, guys. It's literally like $15. They made like $250,000 off just that one alone if you go to the pledges. So there was a lot on offer. They kept adding more and more and more. There's like 5 campaigns worth of stuff here. Feel free to take a look at it. Again, link down in the description below. All right, so we have the Middara Unintentional Malum update. This one's pretty cool. They have added a new resin kit. This is the Middara, this is the Nightingale Arson one. And again, looks super cool. It looks like a lot of fun. I like the little Game Boy thing you get. They also have a 75mm kind of one for painters, where she's like in some grass or whatever, listening to tunes. It's called like lo-fi or whatever. I think that's super cool. They got a pen and stuff like that. Really, they're working on shipping Wave 2 this year, but we will see. They do say this year though. So yeah, we'll see. That's Act 2, that's Act 3, that's a lot of game. So it'll be pretty big, that's for sure. But that's really kind of what's available there. Also, we have a Tanares Adventures update. Again, only 61 hours left to go, almost 7,000 backers. They have 1.2 million. At the 48-hour mark, let's see if they go a little bit bigger. They do have some new stuff, including a new cool Phoenix miniature. I want to show you some of the add-ons here. You can see they're like showing up some cool stuff already. You're like, whoa, what's going on there? Well, you just have to scroll down a little bit to start seeing all the add-ons, because they got quite a few these days, quite a few. But it looks pretty cool. It really does. I'm at the 89. I just want the boxes and the updated books. I think it looks super awesome. They do have this here now. This is the round table of the actual, it's closer to what you'll get. Notice a big design change right between up there. Like, look at the tail there, right, compared to that. I've shown that off before. That being said, they're still using all of this in their advertising. So this is the thing you see with a tail like this. I'm okay with the I'm okay with the design. Just update the render to match the design. It's a big design shift. Their miniatures are actually really cool. They have some awesome miniatures. I love the dragon breathing fire down. I love that. I love the beholder kind of looking kind of guy. There's a lot of really cool minis that they have, and so I'm not against the cool minis. I just want the render to reflect the mini a little bit more than that. There's a big style change between those two. Like, this is cool. This is cool. Love it. And I love the final miniature as well. They do a good job there. This is very different. That's all I'm saying there. But if you scroll down here, you are going to see even see a little bit of right here. Like, oh, what's all this stuff? Well, let's go over it real quick. So there's a lot on offer. Again, you can pump a whole bunch of add-ons here. This is the Mythical Phoenix here, 19 bucks. I don't know the size of it. Probably they listed in the update maybe, but they don't really list it here when they're showing it off like this, on like exactly how tall it is and wide it is and stuff like that. Looks fairly big though. 19 bucks, you get that. You can get the dice tray if you want. I don't really, you're not rolling a whole bunch of dice here in an arena or in Tanares, so I think that's fine. The resource thing, I think this kind of stuff looks a little cartoonish to me. Definitely not something necessarily I'm into. It's cool that you get the resources, I suppose. I actually like those more than the condition miniatures, just because gaining resources is kind of fun. Gaining conditions, it often not all the fun. And these are very simplistic. So when I looked at like Judgment, Eternal Champions, they had resource or condition miniatures that looked fantastic. It looked really, really good. So these kind of very much pale in comparison design-wise. These are a little bit more simplistic. The dashboard, I think that looks super cool. I think that could be very useful. Again, it can kind of sprawl a little bit. And then, of course, just a whole bunch of other stuff that you've kind of seen already before. So, yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to have. And I'm not sure they're going to have much more than that. And we'll see where they end up. Next up, we have Shadows of Brimstone. They have a new $45 add-on pack, the Terrors of the Deep. This is where you get this kind of Queen of the Dead, and then you get a whole bunch of these other enemies. It's quite a big pack, and it's about 45 bucks. It'll give you a nice variety. There's some new things to kind of deal with. Looking at the campaign itself, it's at almost $1 million already, 2,865 backers. So, in other words, the backers are all less, but the funding's almost just as high as like Tanares, which shows how much money people will spend on this, and it's just going to get bigger. They are going to have a ton of add-ons, but there are a ton of good things too. Like, they're just throwing money at you, like when it comes to like content. I showed you briefly in a previous video how much stuff I just got from the Warlord Pledge of the last one. This one looks to offer way more than that. Like, no joke, it looks to offer a ton. And so that's big already on its own, because it's about the same price as what it was back then too, which is pretty impressive. But they're not done. They're going to be adding more, of course, but they're going to be adding more add-ons that you can pay for as well. So we'll see kind of where that all ends up. But not only do you already get like more minis like 32 and stuff like that in these, but if you go to their stretch goals, they have a ton already. So they do have, whether it makes sense like Egyptian or Railroad, they do have some that are for only if you have both, which is the kind of combined one. And so just be cautious of that when you're looking at that. There will be a few like this. A lot of them are just cards, some of them are minis. But I mean, a lot of them are just like all gender miniatures, so you can play the male or female version of whichever thing you want to do, a bounty hunter, a brimstone ranger, right? Stuff like that. So they'll do a lot of that. They'll have a lot of these cards, but then they'll do stuff like this too, where, hey, here's 3 more enemies. Hey, here's 6 more large enemies. And then you'll get, hey, here's 3 more large enemies plus their cards and rules and stuff like that. Or here's 6 more enemies, or here's 6 more enemies again. And so you get all these different artifacts and stuff. You get the big XXL miniatures. I showed you 2 of those, and again, I'll have an unboxing of probably the next video you guys see from me. So you're already getting that, an XXL mini there, more stuff going on here. Here's another XL mini that people are getting. So they are just throwing in so many things, like a ton. So that's what they've unlocked. What's coming up, and guaranteed to come up just with the add-ons. You get stuff like Sandmen and sarcophagus spawners. Can't say that quickly. Their 1 million stretch goal is another XXL mini. It looks super cool. The Nautilus Kraken. So definitely fun stuff there. Again, they had this at the start. They have this now, 45. That'll be their first of several, I'm sure. But they are definitely doing quite well. Like, it's impressive. So if you like Shadows of Brimstone, if you wanted to get into it, not a bad option. As long as you're okay with getting into it in a few years. Otherwise, go to retail, buy what's there. Just know that you are paying more for less, right? I mean, that's how their Kickstarters particularly aren't so much even necessarily FOMO, though some of them are. I guess Forbidden Fortress still has stuff that they have offered on Kickstarter that hasn't hit retail yet, years later. So if ever. So there's a little bit of FOMO stuff, but a lot of it's just a cost savings thing. It seems to do pretty darn well. $285 for all of that already is good, and they're just going to keep unlocking more. Pretty impressive, actually. Though, again, you're spending a lot of money for something eventual. Mordred, I don't know if I want to keep this or not. We'll see. I'm actually edging toward dropping it. I think I could put that 110 towards other things. Maybe even another boarding patrol from my custodies. We'll see. We'll see. I might put that into Warhammer. So you guys might not see that too much on the channel set behind me. But I could find another use for $110 right now. But they're doing quite well still. All things considered, considering they just threw this up here, they have like 1 video from Dice Tower. It wasn't even day 1. 300,000, fairly impressive. They've been doing add-ons, but I'm going to show you the stretch goals first, and we'll look at kind of the new add-ons and kind of what they have on offer there. So a lot hasn't changed. Again, they have essentially this, some of this stuff here, like this spider web kind of spider thing is cool. Bubo the frog, I like him. He's pretty cool as well. Scroll down here. We'll see more. We'll go over those add-ons here. So I think I left you guys right around here. No, actually probably right around one of these. Yeah, probably right around here. So yeah, they got these more heroes and monsters. A lot of monsters, a lot of heroes. You get another monster there, though. Again, you wouldn't necessarily know that's a monster, but that's a monster. And maybe that's one thing that's kind of odd, is like it's kind of hard to tell who's what. Like Lob's obviously a monster. Lob? I don't know, something like that. They have some pretty cool ones. Blackhorn looks cool too, and I'm sure they'll get them, if nothing else, through add-ons. But for the most part, what they're doing is these things like the war bands for $30, where they'll show all these new minis, and they show the art of the mini, Some of them were pretty cool. Like, I like a lot of them. Some of them were cool. I like they have a lot of faces on armor in this pack. So Grinning Jack there, and then Sir Kay, and then you see like some faces and a few others. And then a lot of these like spirit guys, these kind of little fairy people hold different armors and stuff like that. There's some more faces there for you. So they get a lot of that kind of stuff. Some things I would wish matched the art a bit more, because like her turn to the side so much is really cool, but she's just kind of slightly looking over in there, which is, I would have liked a little bit more than that, but still pretty okay. And then obviously they flatten it a little bit, so in the art he has his sword straight back, but on here he's going to be out more and holding it sideways, so it's a little bit more flat, so it's a cheaper mini. This will be a single cast, right? There won't be any extra parts there, so one of the cheaper minis you can make. If you recall, it's not really a lot of this detail, it's really how many parts you're going to put into it that up the cost a lot. So that's where a lot of that is. Also, you get Mandy, who has like a kitchen apron and frying pan and like twins on her back, and so they're going silly too. They're going kind of goofy, that's for sure. Here's another guy with like little fairy people, and that's really all you get on that one. For the $50 one, you're going to get 3 new factions. It's kind of interesting that it's only 3, not 4. I was kind of surprised by that. I don't know what the driving force to that was, but each one has a chief, a mystic, the warriors, and you know, just several alternate figures for that, alternate sculpts for that. They look pretty cool. I dig them, right? They're certainly different. I think they'll look cool painted up. Of course, bright colors as you saw. These ones are probably my favorite just because they're like little tiny. The plains dwarves. They look more like hobbits almost than dwarves to me for whatever reason. Maybe because they just besides this guy perhaps. Though again he's then bald. I don't know. They don't have as much hair as I imagine them all the time. Then they have the fawns as well. And that's it. That'll be $50. They also have DC deck building game, the Justice League Dark. They're at 544,000. 9 days still to go, so still going up around 2,700 backers. Not as big as the last one, at least not yet. Will they reach 1 million just like the last one? I don't know. There's definitely a lot of people enjoying it. One thing I will note, and one of the reasons I am backed out of dollars, because I called my friend local gaming store that backs all these Kickstarters, and I let them know about it, and guess what? They backed it, so now they'll probably go through them, depending, because there's a change here. So I'll kind of go over that a little bit for you guys. But they have essentially added several new options. So we're going to scroll down to kind of where you can buy stuff to see the new stuff. Let's see. Okay, so we had like the 120, then you had the 165, take your shot. They have the 200 magical. I think they had this before. This may be new from the last time I covered it. This is a lot of the new stuff. And then they have this 325 all game content. This is kind of the big mamma jamba here. This is a lot of new stuff that you can get. The one thing that's kind of interesting is like I already have that, so I guess I'd get 2 of those. But besides that, it's cool. I like that they have the Gen Con stuff available. So if you can't make it to Gen Con, then you can still get that. Again, it was cool. I just went to Gen Con and they just gave it to me. I got this antenna card. I was like, sweet, that's awesome. So it was super cool to see that. I think I picked up a mat as well there. So they have the retailer pledge, and this is what my friend local gaming store backed. And again, I'll be able to get this stuff for cheaper, just like I did last time too. I actually saved money on it. They also have now a retailer 2 pledge that comes with more stuff. So I'm going to be asking my friend local gaming store about that. But it would be super cool, and they don't mind that because you know what? They get this pledge from the retailer, which is bigger than my single pledge anyway. And then, of course, more people can get and stuff. So feel free to reach out to your local gaming store. See if you can't save some money. A lot of them will back stuff like this, even if on your behalf. And a lot of times they'll get a cheaper deal and then get that savings to you, which means you saved money and you supported your local hobby group. And that's super cool. I did want to show real quick. This is actually on their other one. I didn't find the update on this. It's on their old one. But one of the things I never liked about the Green Arrow crossover pack is it was based off the show, so it was all live action, so it didn't match anything else. Now, I think that's kind of cool for the fun one, like the Legion of Doom was all cartoony and whatnot, but this one, because it's live action, if it's not, that's a huge difference. But as you can see, they've actually updated that. So this Redux, it's the same thing, but they've actually made it to where instead of the picture from the show, it's the actual art. And I think that's super cool. I actually really, really like that. So I'm happy to see that's the case. So yeah, color me interested now that that's there. Last one I wanted to show you is Paragons Age of Champions. They're going to do a relaunch. Again, that is linked down in the description below. The one thing they mainly added here that's kind of big is the solo campaign mode that they have available. So feel free to check all that out, plus more down in the description below. Guys, if you enjoyed this, if this video helped you, informed you to make a better decision as a consumer, please do let me know. Or if nothing else, leave a like on the video. Maybe even subscribe to see more stuff just like this, unboxings, reviews, all that stuff. I got a game table review coming up here soon too. So there's a lot coming up, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.